Let's jump over to wokeness in media. We have this tweet from Nathan Grayson over the Washington Post, who says he is a video game reporter. I suppose that means that he will provide us information reporting on video games.
Oh.
However, he tweeted, and before I get into it, Nathan, buddy, you made it. Congratulations. Here's what you were hoping for. You are now getting talked about. He says, Shannon Liao and I reached out to over 20 major video game companies about whether they intend to speak up in favor of reproductive rights or provide monetary aid to employees. Just a few said yes. Most said nothing at all. This is literally the Wendy's meme. This is a Wendy's, sir.
Yeah.
It's like this, bro. I would love to see this guy like pull up to a Wendy's and they're like, "Welcome to Wendy's. Can I take your order? Do you support reproductive rights, sir? This is a Wendy's. I'll take that as a no." Then you write it down.
They're not that far from that point. Like we are
literally
going to
the
see,
meme.
we're going to see articles from journalists like, "I went to the Wendy's on 2nd Street and they would not give a strong stance in favor of reproductive rights."
We should legit do this.
That's a good skit.
Let's go to Wendy's just for the purpose of being like, "Do you support women's reproductive rights?" And the guy's gonna be like, "I'm 16 and I just make cheeseburgers."
He's like, excuse me, how does Super Mario feel about Roe v. Wade being overturned?
He actually includes that comment in there. So he has this big Twitter thread.
Oh my
and it's fascinating too. Let me say something on the culture wars. This guy likes the fact that we're talking about it. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care that he's not reporting. This is the future of what these media companies will be. The Washington Post has become Kotaku. This, just Gamergate, leftist woke media. And it works for them. And they're going to get the people who care about it, the people who don't like right-wingers or whatever. And so he doesn't care what we say about him. Like, do you think I care when they write about me or whatever? I ignore all of it. I don't care. Like, people are chatting and smack-talking me, and I'm like, I don't know, I can only read so much. This guy doesn't care. He's getting attention. It's working for him. And this is what the culture war has become. So he goes on to mention that Bungie says they're for it, blah, blah, blah. And then he starts talking about people are suddenly losing their minds over this piece. So let me spell out the rationale behind it. Game companies were extremely vocal following George Floyd's murder. COVID-born anti-Asian hate. Silence here is telling. It suggests broader disingenuousness.
I'm sorry. I started laughing while I was drinking. What a ridiculous thing. Like, is it firstly to want these companies to comment on it in the first place, but secondarily, like, does he think that these companies just became right wing?
Yes.
They started becoming conservative. Like, well, look, this is one where we really are more conservative.
He quote tweeted Ben Shapiro, who said, in which activists masquerading as journalists call up companies and ask why Taylor Swift's silence is so deafening.
He says LOL.
LOL.
Yeah,
He likes it.
press, yeah.
He says, if Fox decides to do a segment on me, my one request is that they use this picture. And this is the point. This guy's not a reporter. He is an activist. His reporting makes literally no sense. I mean, it's the Wendy's meme. Am I gonna say, well, Wendy's once had an LGBTQ Twitter icon. They have not said anything about abortion. It's deafening.
Like when everybody, all the companies were putting their profile pictures black for like after George Floyd, and then if a company wouldn't do that, everybody lost their minds. But I feel like it's the same thing as Taylor Lorenz is bad. Sort of like bad intention disguised as journalism, where she was like, the reason why I had to expose the libs of TikTok girl is because she could have been a Russian asset. Okay, well, you found out she wasn't a Russian asset and you still exposed her. So it's like, the reason why I'm doing this with the video games is because they did that. And so they're always going to find an excuse to their bad journalism or activism or whatever. But it's like, shut up already.